Well, obviously, I was very saddened this morning when I received a call to confirm that Brian had passed away in the early hours of this morning. He was a great colleague of mine, great friend down the years. We've known each other for more than good to 30 years now. And Brian follows in a distinguished line of members of his family who have served the country and served the Fianna Fáil party and served their constituencies with great distinction. I think that the last 3 years, particularly since the economic and financial crisis enveloped, Brian Lenihan as Mr. Finance was a tower of strength at all times. Worked very closely with him, and he with me as Taoiseach, and I know how committed he was to trying to find the right solutions in a very difficult situation. He had a lot of political courage, but he was also, I think, people saw he had great personal fortitude as well. From the time when it became clear that he had this problem, this health problem, he never allowed it to deflect from his duty. He always kept, his good humour. He was a very witty person, very intelligent person, very strong person, and he, I know, will be sadly missed by us all, but most especially, obviously, by his family, and to his wife Patricia, and to Tom and Claire, and to his children, and to his mother, Mrs. Anne Lenihan, to his brothers, including Connor, who also served in the Dáil with me, and Mary O'Rourke, his aunt, and all his family. It's a sad time, but they can be very proud, and I know they are, of the huge contribution that he has made to our national life.
He is someone who, in recent years, was quite unique in Irish politics in that he had, regardless of whether or not people agreed with his decisions politically, he did appear to have cross-party support, especially in his period as finance minister. People were surprised when the announcement was made that he was seriously ill, and yet he didn't give up on his job. Some people might have taken time out and handed over the reins. He garnered the respect of an awful lot of people in the country when he continued in a very difficult job with a very difficult illness.
Yes, I mean, he never, for a moment, for as long as we discussed at the time, for as long as he felt that he was capable, and he was throughout his period as Minister of Finance more than capable of fulfilling his duties, he was anxious to do so. He had a great sense, as I say, of public service, of a great sense of duty. There was a major task being undertaken to try and stabilise our economy, and that involved making corrections and making decisions that would bring greater balance to our public finances, and there were difficult political decisions, but the government had to take those decisions, and Brian Lenihan as Finance had his duty to discharge and all of that as well, and so he worked with all of his colleagues throughout that time, because of, as I say, his sense of duty and his sense of public service. And he would have made it clear to me that if at any time he felt he wasn't able to fulfil his duties, that obviously he'd be the first to say so. And so it's out of that sense of duty and public service that he carried on admirably, and did an excellent job. And as I say, the relationship between the Taoiseach and his finance has to be a close one, and was a close one. When I became Taoiseach, I was glad to appoint him Minister of Finance, because I respected his capacity and his intellectual ability, and, as I say, his commitment. And throughout that period, he was a very strong part of the team to deal with the issues that we had to contend with.
And of course his family have very strong links, and indeed himself links to Athlone in the Midlands in particular. How would you like Brian Lenihan to be remembered over the coming days?
Well, he'd be remembered for a very long time, obviously, by everybody who knew him. He was a very impressive person, and he was a man who, as I say, got on with his job in a very professional way. He was a great personality, a large personality. He was, as I say, wide number of interests, and he was a person who could conduct conversation in any company. and as I say, a great interest in people and in trying to serve the community, and very committed to politics, the public realm, the interest, in maintaining the public interest, a great sense of the state, and I think certainly I'll remember him with great affection and respect and admiration, and as I say, it was a great pleasure to work with him in 3 different administrations. He was Minister for Children, he was Minister for Justice, and then became Minister for Finance. So, but today is a very personal reflection, really, and we spoke recently, and I just think of his family now, and in the coming days it'll be a very difficult time. He's a man who had an awful lot more to contribute, but unfortunately he has passed away now as a result of a very serious illness. But we all recall his fortitude, his bravery, his commitment, and his very positive philosophy on life, and the need to live life to the full for so long as we have the grace to have it. And I think everyone who knew him or was associated with him can be very proud of him.